Have you ever caught yourself thinking about him again and again, until it feels like he's taken up permanent space in your head? You start your day with him on your mind and fall asleep wondering if he's thinking about you too. You try to shake it off, distract yourself, stay busy, but he keeps coming back, like a song stuck in your soul. And that's when the questions start. Is it just me? Am I obsessing? Or is something else going on here? Here's the truth. When a man is constantly on your mind, it's rarely a one-way street. Most women fear they're the only ones feeling it, but emotional energy doesn't just disappear into silence. It circulates. It reflects. It echoes back. And in many cases, what you're experiencing is part of a silent emotional feedback loop, a pull that exists on both sides, whether or not it's been spoken aloud. Carl Jung believed we connect with others through emotional resonance, often beyond conscious awareness. When your focus is fixed on him, there's a very real chance he's picking up on that connection in ways he doesn't fully understand yet. Thoughts, feelings, memories, they're not isolated events. They ripple. They attach. They shape behavior. In this video, you're going to learn about 7 subtle but powerful things that begin happening inside a man when you can't stop thinking about him. From how men process emotions internally, to how they shift behavior without realizing it, to the unconscious cues that signal emotional reciprocity, you'll gain a window into the other side of the connection. And maybe, just maybe, you'll discover it was never just you. When a man is on your mind all the time, most women assume they're just overthinking it. That it's just them, caught in a loop. But emotional energy has its own intelligence. It doesn't fixate on people without reason. And often, the reason lies in something called emotional mirroring. Emotional mirroring is a psychological phenomenon where your emotional state begins to reflect something that's also stirring in someone else. It's not always conscious. Sometimes it shows up as a quiet ache, a memory that keeps returning, or an urge to reach out even when nothing obvious has changed. Carl Jung believed we're not just individual minds, we're part of a deeper collective field. And in that field, connection doesn't begin with conversation. It begins with resonance. Emotional resonance. The invisible tuning between two people who may not even realize what's happening yet. So when your mind keeps circling back to a man, it often means your inner world is responding to something real happening in his. Even if he hasn't called. Even if he hasn't opened up. Your emotional radar is sharper than you think. He may be feeling unsettled. Curious. Drawn to you in ways he hasn't explained to himself. These subtle shifts can be so quiet, he might mislabel them irritability, distraction, even restlessness, without realizing that you are the thread running through those emotions. And here's the key, emotional mirroring means your thoughts aren't just happening in isolation. They're part of a dynamic exchange. If he's in your head, it's very possible that you're already in his heart space, he just hasn't caught up with the feeling yet. Men often process emotional connections through contrast, what they miss when you're gone, what they feel when you're not available. And that's when the mirroring deepens. You're feeling the bond because it already exists, not because you're trying to force it into being. Once you understand this, your thoughts stop feeling like weakness or overthinking. They become insight. And that insight is power. You're not chasing him. You're tuning into him. And whether he realizes it or not, he's already responding. When it comes to emotional connection, men often take a different route than women. While many women process emotions in real time, feeling, naming, and responding in the moment, men tend to process through reflection. Through memory, mental replay, and contrast. The moment that you can't stop thinking about? He might only begin to emotionally absorb it hours, days, or even weeks later. That delay doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means his emotional wiring runs on a different timeline. Culturally, men are conditioned to filter first, feel later. Instead of saying, "I miss her," he might just feel a strange restlessness. Instead of thinking, "I'm catching feelings," he might just feel oddly distracted by a memory of your smile, your voice, or something you said that stayed with him. Men store experiences like emotional photographs. And later, when they're alone, undistracted, unguarded, they mentally return to those moments. They revisit how they felt around you. They scan for meaning. They compare. So what does that mean for you? It means if you can't stop thinking about him, he may already be replaying you, too. He might not show it in texts. He might not act on it yet. But emotionally, the replay has started. And this is often how connection begins to deepen without words. Here's the powerful part: when a man starts emotionally replaying you, his outer world starts to lose its shine. The usual distractions, social media, casual flings, even hobbies, don't feel the same. He becomes quieter, more reflective. He starts sensing a shift inside himself, and that shift points back to you. Most men don't connect emotionally through direct communication first. They connect through contrast, what they feel in your presence versus what they feel when you're gone. That's why absence, not pursuit, often creates impact. It gives his mind the space to process the imprint you've left behind. So if he's on your mind constantly, it may not just be your intuition. It may be the first echo of something real forming in his emotional world. Quiet, slow, but undeniable. Men often struggle to label their emotions, especially when attraction turns into something deeper. They may not say, "I'm falling for her," but their internal world starts to shift in ways that are hard to ignore if you know what to look for. It usually starts with a sense of emotional dissonance. He feels different, but can't explain why. The same routines feel off. He becomes easily distracted, suddenly more aware of your presence, or your absence. It's as if his emotional radar has turned on without his permission. These early signals don't look dramatic. In fact, they often hide in subtle changes. He might reach out less, but linger longer when he does. He might seem quieter around you, but more thoughtful. There's a softness, a hesitation, a new awareness of how much space you occupy in his mind. That's because once a man begins emotionally reacting to you, his priorities start to shift, even if he doesn't consciously want them to. Things that used to excite him suddenly feel flat. Conversations with other women feel shallow. His desire for distraction fades, not because he's avoiding fun, but because something deeper is beginning to form inside him. You'll also notice a change in sensitivity. He picks up on your tone, your energy, your silences. He remembers little things you didn't expect him to. He becomes more tuned into your reactions, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he's emotionally invested, even if he hasn't said it out loud. Ironically, this is often when he becomes less expressive. Not because he's pulling away, but because his emotions are intensifying, and that makes him feel exposed. He may retreat, hesitate, or go quiet, not to avoid you, but to navigate unfamiliar emotional territory. Women often interpret this behavior as mixed signals. But in truth, it's emotional recalibration. His inner world is rearranging itself to include you, and that adjustment process creates temporary silence, confusion, even withdrawal. If you've noticed these subtle changes in him, don't second-guess yourself. Those shifts are emotional markers. He may not be ready to name the feeling yet, but the feeling is already there, growing louder every day. One of the most overlooked elements of emotional bonding is shared mental focus. When two people think about each other, often without realizing it, a silent attachment begins to grow between them. Thoughts carry energy. Focus creates gravity. And when your attention keeps returning to someone, especially someone who's also quietly thinking about you, it begins forming a mental and emotional circuit. Not through words, not through actions, but through presence. And that presence can become powerful. Men may not always realize they're thinking about you repeatedly. It often appears in subtle, indirect ways. A random song triggers a memory of you. He suddenly wonders how you're doing during an unrelated moment. He catches himself smiling at something you said days ago. These moments aren't accidents. They're signals, small indicators that his emotional attention is looping back to you. This kind of focus builds emotional momentum. It becomes easier for both people to slip into thoughts of each other. And with repetition, those thoughts begin to deepen attachment, without either person fully understanding why they feel closer. The more this mutual attention flows beneath the surface, the stronger the bond becomes. Even in silence. Even with no contact. It's the energy that holds. This is why so many deep connections feel magnetic, even in the absence of consistent communication. Something invisible is forming before the visible ever catches up. If you've been feeling his presence mentally, without reaching out, without prompting, it may be because he's been feeling yours too. Two people don't have to talk for their energy to meet. And when it does, something sacred often begins to form. That's not fantasy. That's resonance. And it's where real attachment often begins. When a man is constantly on your mind, it can be hard to tell, is this a real emotional bond forming, or am I just obsessing? This is where many women start to spiral. And understandably so, because both obsession and connection can feel intense. They both come with racing thoughts, emotional highs and lows, and a deep longing for clarity. But there's a crucial difference between the two. Obsession is rooted in anxiety. It feels frantic, desperate. It often shows up when you're trying to force meaning into a connection that lacks emotional safety or mutual investment. You keep checking your phone, rereading texts, replaying conversations to decode every detail, not because you feel secure, but because you don't. Obsession thrives in the space where you're unsure of your worth or afraid of losing control. Connection, on the other hand, feels anchored even when it's quiet. It doesn't demand constant contact to feel real. When you're truly connected to someone, there's a steady calm beneath the thoughts. You can feel them in your energy, not just your anxiety. You trust that the bond exists, even if it's still unspoken. Here's a simple test. If thinking about him drains you, makes you feel smaller, or causes emotional spiraling, that's obsession. If thinking about him expands you, centers your energy, or brings gentle awareness, that's connection. True connection allows room for uncertainty without panic. You're still curious, but you're not frantic. You feel a sense of presence rather than emotional chasing. One reason many women confuse the two is because we've been taught that intensity means love. But emotional chaos isn't chemistry, it's often unhealed trauma disguised as passion. We chase closure and obsession. But we grow intimacy and connection. To distinguish between the two is to reclaim your power. Because the moment you realize you're operating from fear, you have the ability to shift into grounded awareness. You don't need to beg your mind for clarity. If the connection is real, your body will know. You'll feel calm. You'll breathe deeper. And you'll realize, love doesn't scream. It steadies you. Most men won't announce when their emotions shift. They won't say, I'm starting to feel something real. Instead, it shows up in subtle shifts, quiet changes in how they move, respond, and show up around you. One of the first things to notice is emotional curiosity. He starts asking more intentional questions. He wants to understand your inner world, what you think, what you feel, how you see things. It's no longer surface-level conversation. It's focused. There's weight in his presence. He listens not just to respond, but to absorb. Another quiet signal is protective energy. Not in grand, dramatic gestures, but in small, consistent acts. He remembers what matters to you. He notices your needs. He wants you to feel safe, even in simple moments. This isn't performance. It's emotional investment surfacing in practical ways. Then comes the shift in priorities. He makes time for you differently. He adjusts plans. He shows up more intentionally. His schedule starts to shape itself with your presence in mind. It may not be verbalized, but it's visible in how consistently he chooses to include you in his life. You may also sense a change in his emotional rhythm. He's slower to disconnect. He follows up more. He becomes more predictable, not in a boring way, but in a grounding way. That's because when emotional focus deepens, stability becomes a natural byproduct. Men don't always articulate emotional transitions, but their actions begin to reflect the shift long before their words do. If he's emotionally focused on you, it leaks into how he listens, how he plans, how he protects, and how he prioritizes, even in silence. When his attention starts to move differently around you, pay attention. Because his heart probably already is. If you've made it this far, you already know, when a man is on your mind all the time, it's not just a fluke. It's often a signal that something real is already forming in the emotional space between you, even if it hasn't yet been named. We've explored 7 powerful signs that suggest he's already responding to the connection, through memory, emotional focus, subtle shifts in behavior, and unspoken attachment. And none of it requires chasing. The truth is, you don't need to demand clarity. You don't have to fight for validation. You just need to trust the signs already unfolding. Emotional bonds aren't always loud. They don't always come with certainty. But they do speak through energy, synchronicity, and intuition. So instead of gripping tighter, loosen your hold. Let your calm presence be the proof. Observe his behavior, but even more importantly, observe your own body. Safety, warmth, peace, and grounded joy are your compass. When a man begins to change from the inside out, you'll feel it long before he admits it. And the woman who stays centered in her worth? She's the one he can truly meet. If this resonated with you, like, comment, and subscribe. Your clarity starts here.